ability sports across Africa. Nigeria Sapatraku Federation to host first ever championship. Sapatraku Africa Federation commits to full implementation ability sports across Africa. The Secretary General of the International Sapatraku Federation, Datuk Abdulhamid Kada, reaffirms his strong commitment to the continued global development and expansion and the grow adaptive Sapatraku for athletes with physical impairment through the promotion of competition, opportunities and support. In a statement during the signing of memorandum with the World Ability Sports, Datuk stated that he will also work to encourage wider international participation in adaptive Sapatraku and support its members to evolve their adaptive programs ahead of its inclusion in the 2026 World Ability Youth Games. The President of Sapatraku Africa Confederation, Baruga Abdullahi Ibrahim, has also indicated his readiness for the full implementation of ability sports across Africa as directed by Datuk.
We pledge to ensure that African athletes and communities are not left behind and benefit from this program maximally. Advances Sapatraku as a sport for all.
The sport, which is known for its spectacular overhead kicks, agility, precision, adaptive Sapatraku demands exceptional coordination, flexibility, and athleticism. Played on a court similar to badminton with a net, dividing two teams, athletes use their feet, head, chest, and shoulder to control and strike a lightweight ranta or synthetic ball over the net in trio or co-team formats. Nigeria Sapatraku Federation has announced plans to host a curtain raiser National Youth Championship, making a historic milestone for the sport in the country. The event, which is named in honor of Engineer Abu Gumel, President of the Nigerian Olympic Committee, is set to feature 4 club states in an inaugural edition with Solid Miners of Nasarawa, Savannah Jewels of Gombe, Skyscapers of Zamfara, and Langtan Links of Plateau. The championship will serve as the first official Sapatraku competition in Nigeria, signaling the beginning of an organized development for the sport at the grassroots level. By focusing on youth athletes, aims to build a strong foundation for Sapatraku, positioning Nigeria to become a leading force in the game across Africa. Speaking on the significance of the event, the president of Nigerian Sapatraku Federation, who doubles as the president Sapatraku Africa Confederation, Baruga Abdullahi Ibrahim, emphasized that naming the championship after Engineer Gumel reflects his unveiling support for both Olympic and emerging sports in Nigeria. The federation described the tournament as a curtain raiser that will open doors, laying the groundwork for Nigeria's long-time participation in Sapatraku at continental and world levels. Baruga further appealed to sports enthusiasts, media outlets, to partner with the Federation to achieve this milestone. Thanks for always staying with us, and my name remains Bala Katu. This is Skyline TV and welcome to Sport World.
Good evening,
my name is
viewers, and welcome to your best political programs, Perspectives in Politics, a program that will always swim deep into the Nigerian politics, in fact, and international politics, to talk more on what is going on in the leadership role, executive way, or the judiciary, in fact, the democracy entirely of Nigeria and the world. I am Yasser Adam. Stay tuned for what we have for you today. As I earlier mentioned, the program is Perspective in Politics. And as we all know, Nigeria is on the high peak of politics, and political activities have already been started. Everywhere is taking hot about the politics. Talks have been happening, bottle wars, and a lot of campaigns have already been started, conventions everywhere for 2027 elections. What is going on? We have the ruling party, we also have the opposing party that are ready to fight the ruling party for the bottle of space in the government. With me in the studio, we have a panel of experts, especially one that I know and I believe used to swim deep into the politics of Nigeria and also talk more about the politics, who also shed more light, analyze a lot of political activities in Nigeria. This is person of Ahmad Sani Kazaure. Mr. Ahmad Sani Kazaure, you are welcome to the studio today.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, let's look at the political trend ahead of 2027 general elections that the ruling party, how do you think they are prepared? How prepared are they to face 2027 general elections?
Yeah, thank you very much, and good evening, listeners and our viewers. As you earlier mentioned, my name is Ahmed Sani Kazori. We are to dive a bit on that issue because of the impact it has, more precisely for the 2027
general elections. Yeah.
Yeah, preparedness from the ruling party, I think they are 100% or thereabout. Maybe put it 97% prepared. The ruling party, they are fully prepared for the election.
With all the problems within the party that we are seeing right now,
you can understand that by the body language of the key politicians in that government. They are prepared, to my own satisfaction. I say so because if you look at it carefully, there are a lot of things that has come on board during this administration, which the previous administration has found it very difficult to implement, including one of the key game changer programs that I always dive into, because I'm passionate about the education and how a common man can get access to the education. So I look at one of the single components that's been developed by this government, the NEL Fund. The NEL Fund is a game changer. It provides citizens with a clear view if you want to go for higher education. There is room that is enabler for any Nigerian to be admitted into the Nigerian universities.
I don't want to stop you here because I understand the NEL Fund, it is a kind of a loan given to the anybody that wanted to go to further his education to the higher institution. This is a loan we are talking about to a student, for unemployed student. How do you think this can serve as a good initiative for the government, for the incumbent government to work toward the 2027 success?
Yeah, excellent. It's a loan, but what type of loan? It's a zero interest. It's a pre-interest loan for education purpose. And with the stipend of 20,000 naira on a monthly basis, although with the current economic challenges, 20,000 you can look at it a very insignificant
due to the economic downfall here in Nigeria.
But the bottom line is that what is behind that loan? What is the repayment period? Immediately after your university, after service, after NYXC, you are to start payment after NYXC with 2 years. Once you get employment in any government or private sector. And with that, you are paying just 10% out of what you are earning until the time you have been repaid back. This is one of the key components that is, a kind of game changer to the student.
And you think this has a great impact in education development in Nigeria?
Because I know there are a lot of students who cannot afford to be in the Nigerian university.
A lot.
Some will go to tuition, but his parent cannot be able to pay the tuition fee. But the government has taken up that from them.
But with the level of corruption in Nigeria, do you think that kind of a program, NEL Fund program, will work very, very effectively?
Of course, it works because of the challenge. I mean, with the intervention of technology, it's a system. Once you have been admitted into the Nigerian university, the system will recognize that yes, you have admission later. Then you apply online to the NEL Fund, platform. They will screen out to get who have admission from which university. They know how much you are paying. They will create account for you. Zero. They will accredit the money into the Nigerian university's account. The stipend will go directly into the student pocket. And that one has made a lot of people who find it very difficult to cope with the Nigerian university systems in terms of finances to get admitted and started their education. It's very interesting to know that as at October 2025, to my knowledge, the NEL Fund have disbursed about 624 billion or thereabout
to the students in Nigeria.
Almost 116 billion naira.
Let's look at Nigeria at large, not only in the education, even in the education, not only in one side of the education. Let's look at other departments of economic development in Nigeria. You know, we have the agriculture, we have the finance, we have even the health sector in the government. And you see, this government is trying all it can to make sure that it goes back to government again to win the 2027 election. And if we are to look what they do, so that we can be able to judge if they can be elected or re-elected back to sit in coming 2027 election. You made a mention of education, one part of education. We have the primary sector, we have the secondary sector, we even have the tertiary institutions. This one effort that the government made to make it easy for people who wanted to further their education to the higher institution can be able to go there without money. They have a loan prepared for them to do that. Okay, let's look at the agricultural sector in Nigeria. This is the government.
Yeah.
The government in government for 3 good years. What will you say about the preparedness toward the 2027 election, considering the agricultural sector?
This is a very key and very interesting sector that you talk about. I know if you check back the data, the amount of money Nigerian government during the first president, late Muhammadu Buhari, has invested into agriculture. It has never happened in the history of Nigeria. There is massive investment into the agriculture then. They are talking about trillions of naira. What happened with the outcomes of the result? It is very poor. A lot of people collected money with the aims to go into agriculture. They diverted into another sector. Check the data. So when this administration came on board, they realized that, okay, putting more resources into agriculture after what the past president has did, it not yield the rock, let's turn back and look into education. That one may have impact to the common man in Nigeria. And that NELPAN alone has taken up a lot of burden from the parent today in Nigeria. So when you talk about the agriculture, I can understand clearly. If you come on board, you realize that, okay, so trillion has been spent in agriculture in order to boost the farming. But the result is poor. You can't keep investing in something that has no tangible result. No government will adopt that.
Yes.
And that is where I look at it critically. Health is a key sector. And if at all our government are ready, they put more resources into our health systems, we could have been out of where we are today.